Welcome back to J&J Dynasty. So we're going to start up by following up with a draft I did several weeks ago, and here it is. This draft was done in, this is a new draft, I'm sorry. I have the other one, we'll compare and contrast a little bit later to see how much things have changed since mid-May until basically Memorial Day weekend here. In the MFL, I've got a draft that's starting Thursday. I know that there's a couple other ones that are starting on Tuesday. So hopefully I'm going to start publishing or doing some videos with those. Probably Tuesday. I'm hoping they can get through one round by Tuesday evening. It's probably not going to happen. It'll probably be more like Thursday by the time they're through the first round, but there's two leagues I'm going to keep an eye on. They're this format, the PPR, one quarterback, Dynasty, standard league rules, right? So that's what we're going to keep an eye on. So I want to compare apples to apples. I'm using Fan Pros on this sheet to show you, and this is what the old draft looked like. And like I said, we'll compare this one to the new one shortly. A couple things that I've noticed are happening, and in some ways back to what I thought was going to happen, in some ways further away. So let's kick it off here. Oh, and I apologize. Have an asthma or allergy or some sort of issue. I've been coughing a lot. Got my water. I was just sucking on some lozenges to try to make sure that everything was good, but it may not be. So if I cough, I do apologize profusely in advance. Just trying to get this in and go from there. So as we can see, again, as always, 101 Breece Hall. It's exactly the same. Treylon Burks, number 2 on this one. So him or London or obviously Walker are the consensus number 2. So not a surprise there. It's just a preference. And Walker goes there at number 3, Wilson 4, Drake London 5. So that's a nice, very nice draft position if you can get Drake London at 5, being that he is probably the consensus number 1 wide receiver and many times the consensus number 2 overall pick. And some people are jumping him. I'm assuming are going to jump him over Breece Hall. A few people who aren't very smart. So then you have, and this one is weird again. Isaiah Spiller is making a run back up the board. So, I'm sorry, I missed James Williamson. Isaiah Spiller in the mid-first round like that. I call that the running back dead zone, because that's where everybody who needs a running back, who thinks that they're in playoff contention or going to be competitive this year, they reach on running backs in that position. I've said it in a couple videos. You guys probably haven't seen them, but Kishan Vaughan, right? Zach Moss, right? Last year it was Trey Sermon, even Michael Carter. I mean, I guess I can throw him. He looked pretty good coming into this year, but when they drafted Breece Hall, I mean, you got a year's worth of production, and basically it was a little over half a year of production out of Michael Carter, and now his value is just crashing. So guys you're reaching on in from 1.6 to 110, 112, I call that the running back dead zone. That's my name for it. Made it up. Chris Olave, I've seen a lot of people draft him even higher than, 2 or 3 of the big 5. So that's kind of crazy. Jahan Dotson coming in here. Other drafts I've seen him in the early second round. So he's fluctuating here, right after the big boys, the top 8 there. So George Pickens, I definitely would not do George Pickens at this point. 2-3, 2-4. He's going to be at best wide receiver number 3. He's maybe 4 or 5 because he's going to still be behind Najee, and he's still going to be behind Fairmouth, Pat. So you're making that pick for next year. I mean, it was kind of a lot like if you picked Bateman at the end of the first round last year, hoping that he would become the number 1 in Baltimore, which kind of looks like it's coming true. So, but I mean, that's awful risky for the end of the first round. Although this draft is a little bit weak, So, hey, maybe. But a lot of people right there, Skye Moore, I mean, this draft he slid back. I see a lot of people picking him way before Doxson, obviously before Spiller, before Olave even. So that's kind of crazy. And Christian Watson comes in at 112. So in the first, early second, the turn, that's where we see him. Now in this draft, what I did was, well, you can see over here, over there, I'm the first column, right? And I basically picked the highest rated player, except for the very end, just so that it would show who was happening, just like the mid-March draft, right? Because when I was at pick 1-2, or 2-1, I'm not grabbing David Bell or Alec Pierce for wide receivers. I'm not grabbing Kenny Pickett. So I grabbed the best running back that was possible there. So again, I got James Cook on this one. So this one, James Cook fell. I don't understand James Cook at, what's that, 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 7, right? For where Spiller went. I don't see why Cook would go there. Spiller shouldn't have been there. If Cook is here, I mean, that's a great value. He's going before 110 in most drafts I'm seeing. So him sliding back. I have no reason why Kenny Pickett would be up this high. This is not super flex. Kenny Pickett is going to be a project quarterback this year, probably next year. He does have weapons. He does have a clear line to playing time, but he's got to get there, and then he's got to be productive to boot. I think that he can do it, but at best, 2.2, right? Give somebody a third-round pick for Mac Jones. You're going to be better off for that. 2-1? I mean, come on, pick somebody better. Just my opinion. What is this? I'm having a difficult time seeing this, especially the light blue stuff. So just wanted to let you guys know that maybe I can change the setting here on the computer. That would help. Maybe about there, probably. All right, let's do that. So it's Rachaad White. Okay. Still, again, I had eye surgery about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, so it's not really good yet. So sometimes you see me doing this, eye surgery on this eye, so that one I can see out of. So that's the reason for that. Let's get back to Rachaad White at 2-3. I don't like it. He's a reach, but hey, you got to pick somebody, right? Excuse me. Watch out. Sorry about that. Woo! All right. Well, I guess that shows you how much I like Dameon Pierce there. I mean, Dameon Pierce, David Bell, Alec Pierce are kind of guys who I think should be in the early second round. So Alec Pierce, David Bell, good landing spots for them. Trey McBride, way too early. He's going to be, I've said this before, he's going to be a year out before he even gets playing time, right? And that's in the best situation. Kyren Williams flying back up the chart on this one for some ungodly, who knows why? Why? Was there a video somewhere that he did something and now his people are flying him up the board, or is this just an outlier for a draft? Alec Pierce, like I said, mid to early second, probably. Matt Corral. Yes, I like Matt Corral, but why again? Yeah. Jalen Tolbert. He's got Dallas name. Anybody gets hurt, he's going to have opportunity. Hopefully shows out well as a rookie. Hopefully he can turn him into some draft capital. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but at 210, not a bad big in a poke, but somebody's going to want him is because he plays for Dallas, right? So somebody in your league will take him. He's going to play a lot of national games, so it's going to be out there. So as far as that goes, John Mechie, I've seen him going in the middle of the second round a lot of times, so that would be a good value for him. And Brian Robinson. Why would you take Brian Robinson ahead of Tyler Algier when Algier has a crystal clear path to starting and Brian Robinson has a crystal clear path to the bench? Oh, because Rivera said that it's a committee backfield. Well, he said also last year at this time that Gibson was going to catch the ball a lot more. Yeah, don't trust him. Don't trust a lot of things you hear at this time of year, right? Let's see. So yeah, so I wound up getting Tyler Algier at 3-1. So I mean, if I could have a number 1 overall pick, and if I could run a draft like this, I'd be extremely happy at this point with Breece Hall, James Cook, and Tyler Algier. For 3 picks, I would love that. Absolutely love that. Zamir White, like I said in another video, I think that he is a fullback. Turn him into a fullback. Yeah. Make him Mike Alstott. Yeah, there you go. Malik Willis, and again, I guess if you have roster spot and you want to waste a roster spot for a year and a half, Malik Willis, go ahead, but they're going to wind up drafting someone else to replace him next year when they realize that they can't throw unless you want to draft Malik Willis as a halfback, so I just don't see it. Yeah. Wandel Robinson, which is really interesting this late in the draft. You're getting 2nd-round draft capital for the early 3rd round. That looks good to me. I'm not really big on the fan, not a big fan of the player, but at this spot in the draft, I'm more than happy grabbing him, in that spot. Desmond Ritter, again, there's 32 quarterbacks. There's 12 teams. You can have a 3rd-string guy being your starter. Why do you need to get a guy who's a 2nd-string guy who's not going to have playing time? If he does get to the point where he's starting, go pick him up then. Watch a couple games. I love the athletic profile of Ritter. I don't think that he is going to prove out to be a very good quarterback. Many people who I've listened to said one of the big reasons why Alec Pierce is not higher in this draft, closer to the top 5, is probably because Ritter couldn't get him the ball, wouldn't throw it on time, and the offense overall. So, yes, I'm a little bit higher on Pierce, not so high on Ritter just because of a lot of that fact and some other things that I've heard. We'll see. I mean, it's got to get on the field. You got to play. Step up in competition, better players around you, different offensive system. That may make the difference. We'll see what happens, right? Tight end. I mean, if I was going to grab a tight end, I would grab Greg. What? Wademeyer, I didn't even see that one. He wasn't even drafted in the NFL, but he gets 3rd-round draft capital in fantasy. Got to like that. Makes sense. Khalil Shakir, I mean, he's a bench stash. I like it. Pure strong. I think that he has, again, value to get up to have a role for playing time with New England as early as next year. A real role. Ty Chandler, he's lost in the depth chart. Traquan Thornton, another New England guy here in the 3rd. Shows you what people think, Bill, about your offense. They don't like it. But fast guy, maybe take the top off. Home run hitter. I mean, he could prove to be fruitful if Mac Jones can get him the ball. Davis Pierce, I think that he's going to be much more like Trey Sermon than Elijah Mitchell. But we'll see. Jerome Ford, I'm in a good stash. I like him at 4-1. So, I mean, at that point, I wasn't going to draft a quarterback in this round because I'm already telling you I don't like any of the quarterbacks. Sam Howell there would have been a nice choice, but not going to do it. Haskins, Romeo Dubois, tight end Justin Ross. Justin Ross came out and made a fantastic catch, right? The one-handed on the sideline. Treylon Burks also, another one. Maybe that's why Burks went so high here. But the thing is that I noticed both those guys played by the college rules. 1 foot in bounds, not 2. It was a catch, but it wasn't a catch that would count. So we'll take that into consideration. It looked nice, though. So going on, Jones, Kohler, Kelvin Austin. If you want Tutu Atwell Part 2, grab yourself some Kelvin Austin. Tyler Batty, A lot of people like his profile. A lot of people that think that he may have a chance to play, but he's going to be lost in the depth chart there also. Danny Gray. All right. Jeremy Rucker, throwing it out there again. They did draft or sign Conklin in. God, I can't even say his name. Who's my two tight ends for the Jets, right? Rucker is going to probably be the heir apparent. Rucker probably has a higher ceiling than Conklin. We'll see. But basically what I was trying to get to is Zach Wilson, from his days in BYU, would use his tight ends readily. So watch out for the New York Jets tight end situation. Get the guy who's there the most and crank that up. All right. Then we've got Isaiah Likely. Great phone timing. Sorry about that. Yeah, I know the guy. Carson Strong, again, stash him or pick him up halfway through the year. Pick him up halfway through the year on all these quarterbacks until they get some playing time. That's why you have blind bid bucks. Although, I really can't say I like any of these guys back here. But in the 5th round in your real rookie drafts, you're going to have some veterans that people are going to cut that are going to have some value. Yeah, let's see. Here's anybody else in here that I like. Got Bailey Zappi, Kyle Phillips, intriguing name there. Isaiah Pacheco. Yeah. I mean, you can't argue with any of these names here at the end of this draft, right? So let's get back. Let's take a look at how this has changed. Now, where are you, Mr. Mouse? Oh, you went to sleep. All right, there you go. So let's take a look at what happened the first time. Burks went second twice overall, and then we had the big 5, right? So this was now. The big white one is the early one, mid-May, right? So Walker moved way up, and then you had everybody else. Olave getting a lot of love over there. See on that one. So here he was. Yeah, at the end. Spiller went from early second all the way to mid-first between the two drafts. Wow, that's a big jump. Olave we covered. Pickens, where was he? He was 2-1. Skye Moore. Okay, end up first, so he's just still with that. Christian Watson, exact same spot. I got James Cook this time. James Cook was early first round here, or late first round, I should say. That's 10-9, 8. 1-8 to 2-1, right? Oh, man, messing this up. Going back and forth between the two. Not quite fluent as I thought I would be. Jahan Dotson. What did he do? He went, last pick in the first. Oh, so I thought Watson was. Okay, no, just Watson switched a little bit. Not the biggest deal. So James Cook, let's see here. Let's check out the early first 4 picks of the 4th or 2nd round. What was? Pickens, Spiller, McBride, and Alec Pierce. So, all right. Let's do that. So, that's pretty much where we're getting to basically get there. Let's see here. So, after the first 4, so there we got Bell, McBride, Williams, who jumped up from everywhere, and Pierce. So realistically, 2.6 to 2.8 is where your cutoff is. And then the talent really drops off after that. It's a good old crapshoot. So in this one, by the time you get to David Bell lasted, and Algier was 210. So yeah, that's Samir White. Wow, you went mid. Brian Robinson. So I like the values on most of the players on the newest one better, I think, than this one. This one was this mid-May draft was a little bit more all over the board than I thought it should be. But yeah, you can really see the line in the new one here. So basically, once you hit Trey McBride there, Kyron Williams, you're reaching. Alec Pierce snuck in behind that, but after that, you're really reaching. Yeah, David Bell, Alec Pierce, then Tyler Algier maybe is how I would probably look at that. So, if you can get any of those guys in the late second or early third round, you're doing pretty good, I think. That's going to be pretty much it. I think I ran over what the draft situation was like. Just messed myself up with the graphic. What the draft situation is like. So, like I said, now I'm going to be doing a video or two. I'll probably pull up both teams. There's 2 teams that are drafting in MFL in leagues that I found. I'm not in them, but I'm gonna do these little graphics again. I'm gonna show who is taking what. So it's gonna not be as pretty. It's gonna be the laundry list, kind of like the draft picks in some other of these videos, but you'll be able to see where they are and you can actually put them probably side by side and show them. So with that being said, that'll be a fun little exercise, and hopefully they will stay pretty consistent and we can get a little bit of a better draft idea. I do have a draft that's starting Thursday, so I'm hoping that about by Thursday they're through the first round basically on those 2 drafts are starting Monday. So that way I can have a good idea of what the value is along with, the Fan Pros kit and go from there. I've got on that one, I've got pick 1.2. So we will see what I can get with that one. I would love to get the Breece Hall, but I doubt if that's going to happen, right? So, and that league. After this one, I'm going to follow up with that league actually here that I'm going to be drafting on Thursday. So look for that one maybe on Monday. And I'll put that one out because I just made a nice little trade. Had that one actually for sale, and I call the team for sale. I bought it as a for sale. I never changed the team name last year. I had all kinds of draft capital. I've gone through and traded a bunch of draft capital to get players. I could not trade it, even with several first and several second round picks. So I've made a couple trades. I've got a couple big names, and the team looks a lot better than it did before. I still have the early second round, early first round pick, and a couple other picks. So hopefully I can change that team a little bit more and then really make it a contender. I think it's pretty much borderline right now, playoff, but that'll be the next video and I'll show you that one. So look for that one. All right. With all that said, you have a great day, and I guess it's just until next time, right?